There's a movie out called The Road, which is about the end of civilization as we know it. It's an incredibly frightening film of everybody dying and people walking for miles and miles just to find something to eat or other human beings.
Okay.
I'll take this stuff.
I met many people in America who believed this was really going to happen.
We've got a compass, and Matthew knows how to use that.
Very bright flashlight.
Point that in here, show me that. Right.
And the old military shovel.
Right.
And the fishing rods.
Steve Kramer and his family are convinced there's going to be a huge catastrophe in America.
It's a gravity knife, so just keep it handy. You never know when you're going to need it.
I've got some clothes. I got two water bottles in here, and I got
one possible scenario would be the Supervolcano. The Yellowstone National Park is one of 7 supervolcanoes that have huge collections of magma underneath the ground, but there's certainly an asteroid that's headed for Earth that NASA is also aware of, and there's terrorism, there's anarchy. I mean, it could be a natural cataclysmic disaster. When the galactic alignment takes place in 2012, the predictions are that a lot of ambient energy is going to enter our solar system from a binary star that could really cause a lot of sunspot activity that could trigger an electromechanical pulse that would in turn trigger a lot of anarchy. So
terrorism, anarchy.
He heard about this bunker that was a couple of hours away in Southern California.
Solar flare, pole shift.
Out in the desert that people could buy into, where they could go and live for up to a year.
Or even Planet X. Let's go to the shelter, and this is what it would look like if you were to do it from a view from up above with that.
Looking down on it.
Yeah, and then that's like every person's little vault that they go into for where they sleep. This is like the community center. This is where everybody comes, and you know, that's where everybody is.
That's a big room there.
Yeah, you got what you have over here is, you know, the doctor's office, you have a dentist office, you know, you have all that stuff there.
Do we have a barber there to cut our hair for us, do you reckon?
And they have a you know, timeout place for people who aren't being good. They have a vault, you know.
Do you mean a timeout would be a jail? Is that what we're saying?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's a policeman there.
I have a 38 Special, a Charter Arms 38 that's actually on an ankle holster. I also have a military sniping rifle. It's similar to a 30-06. It's a Craig 30-40. It's a sniping reel, kill a deer at a mile. Basically, that's my gun of choice. A shotgun would be. We have a shotgun as well.
Got an axe.
He was even teaching his son to ride a motorbike. He's only 12.
Got a water purifier.
He'd get his son to ride it while he'd be on the back with his guns, I imagine, shooting people who were trying to get in front of him. Or get to the bunker first.
You know, look what happened with Katrina. That's just in New Orleans. If you had that kind of catastrophe on a much larger scale, there's no way that they would be able to respond to it appropriately to adequately protect people. So you kind of have to have your own plan in place to look out for your own, because there's not going to be anybody that's going to be able to adequately help you out when you need help the most.
I went to meet the man who set up the shelter.
So Vivos is the name of the network, it's the name of the company, and what, if you understand Latin or Spanish, Vivos means to live. And that's exactly what this is all about.
His name's Robert Facino, and he drove me into the Mojave Desert to show me one of many shelters he's developing in America.
If there is any event evolving or revolving around the year 2012, I personally believe it's going to be a solar flare. As much as 90% of the population would be killed off. And who's going to kill it off is themselves. Because as it grows worse and worse, people become more and more savage, more and more predatory, and they'll do whatever they have to survive, including that nice little sweet housewife you have next door with a couple of young children. When it comes to survival of her and her children, she's going to do everything she has to.
As we got closer to the bunker, he asked me would I stop filming. I said, why is that, Robert? He said, oh, look, I'd rather you not to film. I don't want to give away the location of where the bunker is.
We don't want to lay the breadcrumbs, as you will, through your video camera right to the doorstep of the shelter.
This is the entrance here, is it, to the facility?
Yeah, this is the facility. It's very inconspicuous by design.
Well, what was this before?
David, I can't tell you that.
Right, you can't tell me that.
No.
What it was?
That's right.
Did you have to buy it though?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't free, let's put it that way.
Well, this is coming into the facility. It's 110 degrees outside. And down there are all the bunkers. How far down are you going?
It's about 40 feet down. Several flights there.
It was like a 1950s bunker that you could imagine was built for the Cold War and, say, the Cuban crisis. A lot of old electronics are still there. It was like going back in time. And there was a big fan going, which was very noisy.
This room becomes the kitchen to the entire complex. So it'll be a large kitchen and food storage up above. This is an interesting piece of equipment. It's the original nuclear blast detector. This is fed a signal from a gamma ray detector that sits on the surface, and we'll show you that later. And what that gamma ray detector does is it sees the flash of a nuclear bomb. And you know, light travels faster than everything else, so that light signal could be 100 miles away. It'll see it, and it instantly tells the blast detector to shut down all doors, all air vents, everything. This place seals up in a nanosecond. Well, this was the original, and this will be retrofitted, but it still gives you an idea of what we're talking about. And the beauty of Vivos and our concept is you don't have to prepare. You didn't have to go to school and study survivalism and read all the books and join all the websites and stockpile all the goods.
You do it for them.
It's already done. It's just the only preparation you need to do here is get out your pen and your checkbook and, you know, buy yourself an interest and for you and your family.
The cost of buying into this bunker is $50,000 per person.
I believe that there's a need for this product.
Could you say quite openly you want to make a buck out of it?
Well, I have to make a profit. I'm not Bill Gates. I'm not a philanthropist. I cannot afford to do this for free.
And by springs, like I said, they're all flexible. You can move them around. That's its entire place.
He had a television team from South Korea that turned up. A photographer and a reporter from a German magazine. Drawings and maps of what the place will look like when it's renovated. He had his wife there. She spoke a little bit about what her husband was doing. She's obviously very proud of him.
People are very afraid. We had a group from Taiwan contact us, and they said they're very concerned because they said they have 100 missiles pointed to them from China, and on any given moment.
Can't they build their own shelters?
One would assume so, but I guess either they don't have the vision or the technology or the foresight to be able to build shelters to accommodate that many people, and the government's not doing it for anyone.
What do you think about entrepreneurs who are buying up old nuclear shelters?
Knowing what I know, I find that very understandable. It's not the way I personally choose to go, though.
This man is Richard Heinberg. He's a peak oil expert. He's written 9 books.
That was the first edition.
He's been saying for years, we've got to do something about oil. We cannot rely on oil. And he thinks if we don't do something, and I kept pushing him on this, that there will be civil unrest.
The growth phenomenon that we've seen over the past 200 years is coming to an end, and it's going to affect absolutely everyone on the planet.
Anarchy?
If we don't handle this historic change properly, it's going to look basically like the collapse of civilization.
Heinberg thinks that if we're going to survive, we need to change the way we live.
We've got to work together on this because individual survivalism just isn't going to cut it. You know, if I've got my vegetable garden and my neighbor is starving, then the only way I'm going to be able to continue eating is to, stay up all night with my shotgun to make sure nobody goes over the fence. What kind of life is that? We're creating, out of this paradise Earth, we're creating a hell for our descendants. I think it's our duty not just to somehow try to survive this, but to change what we're doing and to create a survivable planet for everyone, for our communities and for our descendants.
Now come around this way and I'll take you around this other side.
I met a family that's doing just that.
Some more tomatoes here. We're about 90% self-sufficient in the summertime because this is all.
Julie Dervaes lives in Los Angeles, right next to a major highway. But he's turned his backyard garden into a farm.
These are heirloom squash from Italy, and they hang from the trellis here. So just watch your head.
He's got 2 daughters and a son. How do you like this yourself?
I love what I do, so I can't complain. I got a green thumb.
They grow 350 different fruits, vegetables, herbs and berries. They all survive on what's grown here.
This is our barnyard.
Yeah.
But it's in the city, so we've got a nice little animal enclosure here. We've got 5 ducks, 8 chickens, and 2 goats.
And while I'm there looking at these goats and chickens, I can hear the traffic next door, woof, woof, up and down the highway. But you could be in the middle of the countryside.
We're looking at, a planet that has gone run amok. So you have to be sensitive about what direction you're going. If it's going the wrong direction, it's either you're going to turn around early or you turn around at the edge of the cliff, right? Oh, come up here to our store.
What do you
shop? Store on the front porch.
They obviously had a fear for the future too,
Nice to meet you.
of what's going to happen.
Heirloom tomatoes.
But they're going around it in a different way.
And our honey.
Got the bees out the back, I see.
Yes, bees out the back.
This is a completely different dream. We're talking about self-sufficiency. We're talking about neighborliness. We're talking about a community of helping one another.
So,
Great, isn't it?
yeah, so it has the herbs from the garden. Yeah. So, and then Jordy made some ice cream.
Ice cream?
Yeah, we have a hand crank.
It's cool, yes, it works for us, but it's a little scary because out there it's now, you can actually forget about the bad things out there.
I need the tomatoes. Okay. And just a retotal of 14. Okay. Yeah, that's a good cheese.
There seems to be this common strand running through America right now. A fear of the future and a sense of doom.
This one's really good. This one tastes like vanilla.
But I saw people responding in very different ways.
This is so sweet.
From preparing to hide from change to preparing to make change happen.
That's a good one.
So we figure we're preparing ourselves to live simply. I mean, this here is riches, but people don't understand. If you look around, you'll see riches here, but it's in the form of tomatoes and peppers and animals. So we're going backwards, and I say a step backwards is progress.